Very warm welcome and good morning to everyone to a very special section or the chapter, I would say, the magical air that you breathe. There's an interesting thing about the air that we breathe, right? So let's see what the author says in the book. It is quite possible to leave your home for a walk in the early morning air, and return a different person, bewildered and enchanted. So she says that it is quite possible that you go for a walk in the morning and you can always return back as a different person, more calmer person, more happier person. And it actually does happen. If you go in for a walk in the early morning, you do, feel that freshness in your soul. If someone had told me a few years back to be grateful for the air that I breathe, I would have thought the person was crazy. I would have made a bit of sense. It wouldn't have made a bit of sense to me. Why on earth would anyone be grateful for the air they breathe? But as my life changed from using gratitude, the things that I took for granted or didn't have a second thought about became an absolute miracle to me. I went from sweating the small stuff in my little world and day-to-day life to opening my eyes and thinking about the bigger picture and wonder of the universe. So, the author says that if somebody would have told her a couple of years back that she should be grateful for the air that she breathes, then she would have probably laughed at it. You know, she would have probably laughed at the fact that she wants somebody tells her to be thankful for the air that we breathe. But as her life changed and as she got into using gratitude and realized for the things that she has in her life and to be grateful for those things, the more you see, the more amazed you are, is what she's trying to say. So, as my life changed from using gratitude, the things that I took for granted or didn't give a second thought about became an absolute miracle to me. So as you start thanking yourself and having that gratitude in life, you will you will you will feel how wonderful or how amazing the world is around us. As the great scientist Newton said, when I look at the solar system, I see the earth at the right distance from the sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and life. This did not happen by chance. And yes, people who study the universe, they actually say this, that if there is a 1 degree change between Earth and Sun, life would not survive on Earth. It is impossible to do that. If there is 1% change in the atmospheric levels of this Earth, we wouldn't be here. So everything that we have on this earth is very nicely and finely balanced. Those words made me think, so the words of Newton apparently, those words made me think more and more about the bigger picture. It's not an accident that there is a protective atmosphere surrounding us, and that beyond it there's no air or oxygen. It's not an accident that trees give off oxygen so that our atmosphere is continually replenished. It's not an accident that our solar system is perfectly placed, and that if it were anywhere else in the galaxy, we would most likely to be devastated by cosmic radiation. There are thousands of parameters and ratios that support life on Earth. All of them are on knife edge, and their fine-tuning is so critical that a fraction of difference in any of these parameters and ratios would make life unlivable on planet Earth. It is difficult to believe any of these things could have happened by accident. It would seem that they are perfectly designed, perfectly placed, perfectly balanced for us. So, this is an important line. Perfectly designed, they're perfectly designed, perfectly placed, perfectly balanced for all of us. Now, what she's trying to say in here is that it is not just by an accident that Earth has an atmosphere. Last night I was reading, I was listening to some scientist, and he was telling that it is possible for humans to travel from the Milky Way galaxy, or this one, to Andromeda galaxy. Andromeda galaxy is apparently the closest galaxy that we have. It is possible to travel. If you travel by the speed of light, almost by the speed of light, you can actually travel to that galaxy in, I think, the usual time is about 11 years or 1100 years or something. But he was saying that you can actually travel from this our Earth to that galaxy in let's say an hour, or in a day, or in a minute. You can travel if you travel by light. It's the speed of light. The problem is that when you travel by the speed of light, by the time you reach there and come back, maybe it will take you 2 hours. Let's say it takes you 2 hours. But in that 2 hours, when you travel, when you come back, you would have had, Earth would be around 45,000 years older. So the balance, the cosmic balance is as such that it is impossible for you to travel to another galaxy or another planet. Technically, you can do that if you do that at the speed of light. But when you go and come back, it will be thousands of years on planet Earth. So you cannot come back and give the message to anybody. You can go and come back, but by the time you come back, so much time has traveled past on Earth that you can actually not tell anyone what he went for and what he gave. Nobody would even remember it, or maybe not take into consideration that you come back. So by the design as it is, the universe is designed, you cannot do certain things. Also, the fact that it is impossible for us to travel beyond the speed of light. So, speed of light is the fastest speed that you can travel. It is not possible for us to travel. That is the last limit that you can travel by speed of light. What I'm trying to say is that the world, as the universe as it is made. If you look at it, we are a dot in the universe, hanging in the air. Earth is like a small rock in the universe, which is hanging in the space, covered by a layer of atmosphere, and you have life on that. And it is so amazingly magnificent if you think about it. If you think our existence, it is amazingly, thought-provoking, right? So we are at the right place at the right time. We are at the right, environment that helps us go. Everything that we have in this earth is well balanced. If you kill all the bees in this world, the earth will end. The fine balance is as such that if you kill the bees in this world, you know, all the earth will finish off. Imagine it's just a small bee, the bee that you give the honey from. If you kill all the bees, the earth will finish. That is how fine balance everything is on this world. When the realization hits you that all these things might not be an accident, and these cannot be an accident because everything is so finely balanced, it is definitely not an accident. And the balance of every microscopic element surrounding Earth and on Earth is in perfect harmony to support us. So, everything on this planet, whether we know about it, whether we don't know about it, in some way or other, supports us. You will feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for life. And when you see that everything in this world is here to support you, you will feel the gratitude of life. And that is what she's coming to. The magical air that you breathe is not an accident or fluke of nature. When you think about enormousness of what had to take place in the universe for us to have air, and you then take a breath. Breathing into your body becomes breathtaking in every sense of the word. So, what basically she's saying that when you think about the air that you breathe, and just close your eyes and think that this air is actually available on Earth. At least we have not come across any other planet that has a sustainable atmosphere that is rich in oxygen or that can support a living thing. Earth is the only planet which has the air that can be breathed into. We take one breath after another and never give a thought of the fact that there is always air for us to breathe. Now,
Hi, good morning, baby. Mm. ഉം. ഇല്ല തുറന്നിട്ടേ ഇതിൽ നിന്ന് ഇനി
now, now, there is something that I had read once that every breath that you take in could be your last one. You never know. So every breath that you take could be your last one, and every breath that you take, leave out could be your last one, and every breath that you take in is a gift. It is something that is bestowed onto you, that is given to you, and you need to be grateful for that. We take one breath after another and never give a thought to the fact that there is always air for us to breathe. Yet, oxygen is one of the most plentiful elements in our body, and as we breathe, it feeds every cell in our body so that we can continue to live. The most precious gift of our life is air, because without it, none of us would last more than a few minutes. So, remember that every breath that we take is what feeds every cell in our body. Every minute to the smallest level to which our body can be broken into is fed by this air that we breathe in. The smallest of the cell is by this air that we breathe in. If we do not have the air to breathe in, we will not survive. Probably we can survive with without food for a couple of days, without water for a couple of days. But without air, we cannot survive for a couple of minutes, not more than a couple of minutes. When I first began to use gratitude's magical power, I used it for a lot of personal things that I wanted, and it worked. But it was when I began to grateful for the real gifts in life that I experienced the ultimate power of gratitude. The more grateful I became for sunset, a tree, the ocean, the dew on grass, my life, and the people in it. Every material thing I have ever dreamed of having poured down upon me. I now understand the reason why it happened that way. When we can feel truly grateful for the precious gifts of life and nature, like the magical air that we breathe, we have reached the deepest possible level of gratitude, and whoever has that depth of gratitude will receive absolute abundance. Now, she said that as she started with her life, she became more grateful for everything that the nature offers us. She became grateful for the tree, the oceans, the dew on grass, my life, and everyone in it, everything that the nature offers us. And as she understood that, she started feeling grateful for the precious gifts of life and nature, like the magical air that we breathe. Now, we have reached one when we are thankful for the air that we breathe. We reach a different depth of gratitude. And when we reach a different depth of gratitude, we receive an absolute abundance. Today, Stop and think about the glorious air that you breathe. Take 5 deliberate breaths and feel the feeling of air moving inside your body and feel the joy of breathing it out. Take 5 full breaths in and out 5 different times of the day today. And after you have taken each set of 5 breaths, say the magic word, thank you for the magical air that I breathe, and be as genuinely grateful as you can for the precious life-giving air that you breathe. So she's asking you to do the exercise of taking 5 breaths in and out, 5 in, 5 out, and then say the magical word, thank you for the magical air that I breathe. And as you do so, feel it in you. It is best if you can do this magical practice outside so you can really feel and appreciate the magnificence of fresh air. But if that's not possible, then do it inside. You can also close your eyes while taking the breaths, or you can do it with your eyes wide open. You can do it while you're walking, waiting in line, shopping, or anywhere at any time you want. The important thing is to deliberately feel the feeling of air going in and out of your body. Breathe the way you naturally breathe because this magical practice is not about breathing. So he's telling you that you can actually do this practice anywhere that you want. Doesn't matter where you are. Just take some time, breathe in, breathe out, and be thankful to it. But whenever you breathe in and breathe out, make sure that you feel it going into your body. If taking a bigger breath helps you feel more gratitude, then do that. If it helps you make a sound, or mentally say the magic word thank you as you breathe the air out, then do that. If you want, you can also do a variation of this practice in future by imagining you're breathing in gratitude and filling yourself with it every time you take the breath. In ancient teachings, it is said that when person reaches the point of being deeply grateful for air, that they breathe, their gratitude will have reached a new level of power and they will have become the true alchemist effortlessly, who can effortlessly turn every part of their life into. Now, this is something that she has been telling from her perspective, what the author is telling from her perspective about what it is to reflect about the air that we breathe, or what it is to reflect or being thankful for the air that we breathe. Now, if you look at this from a Vedic perspective, or the Vedic wisdom that we have in our life, it is explained in a much more beautiful and in a detailed way in our Vedas, in our Vedic wisdom. In Vedic wisdom, conscious breathing is actually considered an anchor point in life. If you want to concentrate your mind, if you want to do the meditation, a lot of times teachers who train people on meditations, they will ask you to concentrate on your breathing, concentrate on how it goes in and goes out. Now, when you have a profound gratitude for the miracle of breathing in air and breathing out air, you will reach a different level of gratitude. You will reach a different layer of your existence. Air that we breathe in it sustains what we call as the prana. The vayu sustains the prana. And when you concentrate on that, you are actually concentrating on the sensation. When you're concentrating on the sensation of breath, you're concentrating on the prana that you have inside you, right? And prana is not just the air that we breathe, it is the universal force, the universal energy, the cosmic breath, right? That gives life to everything in the universe, from the smallest atom to the largest of galaxy and everything living inside, the fundamental source of energy that animates that living thing into something that is living and non-living is your prana and breath, right? While prana is the energy or the life form, breath is what sustains it. When you talk about pranayam, right? Pranayama is a Vedic or is a yogic exercise. When you do the pranayam, you're actually concentrating on the breathing and the prana in you, right? That is what gives you the mental clarity, the spiritual awakening that we look for is in the act of breathing, living, and connecting with the universal force. And if you understand that, you will get a lot of idea, or you will get a lot of wisdom about what is this. Now, if you know this thing that in our Vedic Upanishad, you have a stotram or a mantra which is called um, Aham Pranam Asmi, right? Aham Pranam Asmi is basically a derivation of Aham Brahmam Asmi, right? Now, when you say Aham Pranam Asmi, that is the the how do you put it? That is actually how the essence of your living is expressed, right? Aham Pranam Asmi is a declaration that you are in unity with the breath, a reminder that you are not separate from the vital force that gives you the energy. When you when you start saying Aham Pranam Asmi, it is a very powerful shift that happens within your body when you recognize yourself as a life energy. Apart from being the body part, you try and recognize yourself as a source of energy. And this is not just about It's 8:30. Thank you. This is not just about the breathing part, but this is also about reclaiming your consciousness to the divine life force. This is there are actually two mantras that, as per the Vedic Upanishads, that is considered or that is revered as per the Vayu, the air that we breathe. What she's telling about being thankful about the air that we breathe. One is the Aham Pranam Asmi, that is, I am the life force itself, that is the one. There is another one which is there, not word to word, but it is there in the Upanishads, and that is Dhanyavadam Vayu Namah. So Dhanyavadam Vayu Namah is a reverence wherein you say, I bow or I am in gratitude with the air. Right. Now, this is basically a bhakti mantra that is there in the Upanishads, and it is also there in yajna, in the yajnas that we do, it is also there. But when you combine these two mantras, it becomes a very powerful mantra. That is exactly what she is telling. When you combine this two mantra, it becomes a combination of Aham Pranam Asmi, which is something that connects you to the oneness of life force, and Dhanyavadam Vayunama. It is to bow or feel gratitude for the air that sustains me. Right now, when you reach this level of gratitude, you are going so deep in the fundamentals of your existence, right? You are thanking every breath that you exhale because that could be your last breath, and you are being grateful for every breath that you inhale because that is the gift that you're getting. So just look at it from the point that you exhale and you're grateful for it because you had something to give, and it could also be a last one. So be thankful for it. Even if it's not, be thankful for it. And every breath that you inhale is a gift. So you create a beautiful, balanced breath meditation when you do this. When you're able to inhale, try and inhale with Aham Pranam Asmi and exhale with Dhanyavadam Vayu Nama. So this is as per the Vedic concept, okay? This is not as per the book, but this is what the Vedic concept tells you. The Upanishads and the Rig Veda tells you. But she has very nicely, Rhonda has very nicely said that in a simplified manner, that you be thankful for every breath that you take. But no matter whichever path you take, to thank the air that you breathe in. Whether you take the Vedic part of saying, with every inhale saying Aham Pranam Asmi, and every exhale saying Dhanyavadam Vayu Nama. Either you do this or just breathe in, feel that air in you, feel that air fill up your lungs, feel that air soften up your heart, and feel that air in you and say, thank you. Both this s- serve the same purpose. And the purpose is to be grateful, right? Be being grateful, to express your humble gratitude of your existence. It will connect you to the oneness of life, because everything that is there on this earth at a fundamental level requires this function to be alive. So you are breathing the air that is shared by everything in this world that is living. And you are being grateful because that air is what animates the prana in you. If you don't have that air, you cannot have the prana in you. So, air is what animates the prana in you, and that prana is the life force in you. So, being grateful for that is actually being grateful, being thankful to the Creator at a very fundamental level, to the very basic thing that feeds each and every molecule in your body, that feeds every part of your body. And that is what creates this beautiful, balanced meditation, the breath meditation. So you can achieve a level of meditation that that can sustain with every breath, and every breath that you take in, and every breath that you give out. It's a beautiful gift that we don't appreciate. And gratitude in all its form is about understanding that beautiful part of life, that every simple, every small, every uh, taken for granted acts that we have in our life is a gift that you should cherish, and is a gift that you should feel gratitude for. And it is when you feel gratitude for the most non relevant, unimportant, taken for granted things in life, when you appreciate that, when you honor that, when you put it above everything in life, is when you get about your abundance, when you do an abundance, when you are blessed with an abundance in life. So that is how the Vedic thing goes in. This is all in our Vedas. If you understand the Vedic part, you know that Vayu is given a godly status. You have Vayu Deva, right? So Vayu is given a Vedic status. If you read the Rig Veda, you will see that something called the Vayu Sutra or the Vayu Sukta. You have Vayu Sukta in Rig Veda, and Vayu Sukta explains everything in detail about the Vayurveda mantras, right? Every mantra that, yeah, the Vayurveda mantras. So every mantra that you have with Vayu, invoked with Vayu, in being divine, in being the life sustainer, in being the purifier is there in this Rig Veda, if you get the time to go through it. But the easy way would be what Randa has shown us is about being thankful to it. But if you want to get into the details of how grateful the Vedic wisdom is about the air that we breathe in, the prana that it sustains, the life force that it gives. I would recommend you to go with go with the Rig Vedas and go with and check this out. That is about what brings you know the life retaining onto us, and that is what she has very simplified, in a very simplified manner, explained. I think this is much more easier when you say, okay, thank you. Thank you for the air that we breathe in. Thank you for the prana that is given to me. Thank you for, for everything that is provided. When remember that it is not just the oxygen that we breathe in, it is the cosmic force that animates us. It is the firstborn energy present. The oxygen or the air that we breathe in is actually the firstborn energy in our body. Even before we start to speak, even before we our eyes develop, even before our cognitive abilities come into our body, we start with the air that we breathe in. It sustains every form of our life, mental, physical, and spiritual. It sustains every form of our life. And our Vedic culture realized this thousands of years back, and that is why it is named as prana in our Vedic system, that nothing functions without it. You cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot talk, you cannot do anything. See, the moment the prana goes out of your body, you are no longer an individual. If when you are awake, you are always called as, Mr. So and so or Mr. This and this. But the the moment we body goes the life goes out of your body, the moment you are not breathing anymore, you are not called. If let's say your name is, let's say my name, Steve, so I will be addressed Steve as long as I have the prana in me. The moment that prana goes out of my life, I'm no longer that Steve. I am body, right? So when somebody passes out, we don't say, oh, Mr. So and so passed out. We say, or we have to move Mr. So and so from house to here. We don't say that. We say we have to move the body. You have to carry the body. You have to cremate the body. You have to do the right, rites for the body. So what what animates that thing in our life is the source that the Vayu provides us. It is the sustainer, the supporter of everything that we have. And feeling gratitude for that source is the biggest step that we take in self-realization, right? I think I think that is there. It is there in the yoga. In the yoga, we do that, the control of breath, the pranayam that we do. Who is messaging me so much? I really hate when this messaging comes in. It disturbs my. Just give me 1 second. So it is there in the yoga. It is there in sorry about it. Yeah. So it is there in yoga. It is there, the control of breath, the pranayama is there in the yoga, controlling the mind. It is there in Ayurveda because prana, as per Ayurveda, determines your immunity, your longevity, how long you live, your vitality. It defines it. It is there in Vedic meditation because it controls the Jivatma, what is called the Jivatma or Paramatma. So Jivatma is the cosmic, is the individual self, is Jivatma, and the cosmic self is the Paramatma. So it connects the awareness of breath connects the Jivatma with the Paramatma, and that is why this is important. And if you're able to define, understand the relevance of being thankful for the magical air that we breathe, you will reach a different level of gratitude in life, in your life. So let's come down to the magic practice number 23, the magic practice that she, Randaban, actually advises us. The first one, count your blessing as usual. She will ask you to count your blessings, make a list of 10 blessings, write why you are grateful, reread your list. At the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. So in in every day, write down your things that you're grateful for and feel grateful for every blessing that you have. 5 times today, stop and think about the glorious air that you breathe. Take 5 deliberate breaths and feel the feeling of air moving inside your body and feel the joy of breathing it out. So, what you need to do is to take 5 deliberate breaths and feel the feeling of the air moving inside your body. So feel it as it goes in. Feel it fill up your lungs. Feel it softening your heart. Feel it going, you getting the source out of it. And when you do that, be thankful for it. Be thankful for that you have the air in your lungs. To many people, they don't have it. Probably it was the last one. So be thankful for it. After you have taken 5 breaths, say the magic word, thank you. So, since we are going to follow this and not the Vedic scriptures, although I prefer for that, but still, since we are following the book, I would keep it this way. So, say thank you, thank you, thank you for the magical air that I breathe. Be as grateful as you can for the precious, life-giving air that you breathe. And yes, pre be thankful for that. Just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock. So just before you go to sleep, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic word, thank you, for the best thing that happened during the day. So as every day, start your day with gratitude, count your blessings, these things that are beautiful in your life. You want to see the beauty, you will see the beauty. You want to see the flaw, you will only see the flaw. It is your choice. It is a choice that you have in your life at every day. Bad things can happen, things can go wrong, but still learn to see the good. And just before you go to sleep, be thankful for what you have tonight, what you had for the full day. Think about one thing that you are so grateful for, something that happened the best in your life. And that is how you end your day with gratitude. Just look at how she has bought it. It's this book is beautifully done, highly inspired by a Vedic literature, but beautifully done. She started with being grateful to everything, being grateful to small things, small people, things, stuff. And eventually she has brought it to the level wherein she's talking about the air that we breathe, which is a very complex and a very advanced level of being grateful in life. And I'm sure that this is going to help all of you understand and be grateful for things in life. Thank you very much for being here today. And I really hope that this session has helped you to understand things that you need to be grateful for in life a little bit more and helped you to see things from a different perspective. Thank you very much for being here today. Um, God bless all of you and have a great day ahead of you. Take care. Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful messages. Thank you.